Hi everyone, my name is Mrs. Keene and I am your child's language arts teacher. I'm so excited to have your learner in class this year, and I just want to take some time to kind of dive into my class and what your learner is going to be doing this year. So today we're going to talk about grades, we're going to talk about Schoology, tutoring, the balance of reading and writing that we will do in our class. We're going to talk about Membeing and then just some other required materials. I want to just leave my email address right here. Just for you to know moving forward if you ever need to contact me. So just some things about me. I have been here at North this is my 8th year here at North and my 9th year teaching. I am married to my husband named Cody. He's an electrical lineman. He works for Encore, so you might see those trucks around the neighborhood. I have a son, Hayes, who's 3, and I am expecting a little girl the end of December, which we're very excited about. I promise I will send out more information on my maternity leave when it gets closer. I told the kids I love Diet Coke and candy right now, especially. And so I'm really excited just for the learners to know more about me and for me to get to know more about them. So the first thing I want to talk about is our kind of schedule of the day. And whether your learner is virtual or in person, our schedule looks exactly the same. I think for me, this is the best way to stay organized with our learners. Also, to give that equity piece, that to make sure that all learners are getting the same type of education in my class this year. So each day we follow what we call the reading writing workshop model. So our warm up is 10 minutes. Each day we do something different. So Mondays we do Membeing. Tuesday we do Tell a Story Tuesday. Wednesday is silent reading. Thursday is silent reading or free choice. And then Friday could be free choice or a book talk. So that's the first 10 minutes. The next section is study, and that is where learners are getting their mini lesson. They're reading something. We're reading a mentor text together. We're annotating something. We are practicing a new skill. They're watching a video. So this is kind of like my lecture piece, but I try to keep it short, 10 to 15 minutes max. That way learners aren't just just sitting there and just listening for the entire class period. And so I can keep their attention with keeping it short. The next section in our day is called Create, and that is where the learner is then practicing the skill by doing it in partners, groups, by maybe reading independently, working on an assignment, and turning it in. And I like to keep this piece around 20 to 25 minutes. That way learners don't have homework at night. I try really hard to not assign homework. If they are working and doing their best in class and focused, they should not have homework. If they're talking and, not really paying attention, then there's a good chance that they're going to have homework. And then the last 5 minutes of class is what we call the share piece. And this is for like announcements, reflection, exit tickets, and any progress checks. And like I said, it does not matter if your learners are virtual or in person. Our class looks the same. It is so important to me that everybody is getting the same delivery of our lessons. So that's why we keep it the same. So for our virtual friends, they are expected to Zoom every day at the beginning of class. If they can't, then they need to watch the recording that is posted in Schoology to get the information that is taught. Skipping the video is going to result in missing all of the content, whether it's new or it's a refresher. So it's so important that our virtual friends are Zooming so they can get what they need. Schoology, as hopefully you know by now, Schoology is our most used app that we are going to be using this year. It contains our schedule, our calendar of events, our classroom resources, our assignment turn-ins, and then I also send updates or reminders in there. So Schoology is the end-all be-all for them to be successful in 6th grade this year. So I just want to show you kind of like a day in Schoology, what it looks like. So this is my class, and this is what it looks like. So learners will start at the learning folder. This is where all of their content is located. Course information, you can find our syllabus, the Meet the Teacher video, parent information. There are some just documents that you can go through and read some resources. But learning is where the learners pretty much stay the entire time. So when they click on that folder, at the top will always be our Zoom link. So for each week, I post a Zoom link. It's the same for all my class periods, and learners have access to it 24 hours a day so they can see it. However, obviously, we're not Zooming 24 hours a day, but learners have access to the Zoom link at the beginning of the week. Therefore, there should be no confusion about where's the link? How do I log in? It's all there. Learners also have a weekly agenda that is posted so they can view what they're going to be doing each day in class. It's just a brief overview of what each day is going to look like. So they have access to that. And last but not least, each day's work is published by 7:30 a.m. and it's housed in that day's folder. So each morning at 7:30, I publish the folder and the assignments that are in it. Again, super important that we're logging into Zoom if our friends are virtual, and we are available at the beginning of that class period. I do follow our bell schedule pretty strictly, and but if learners can't make it, there's always that Zoom recording that's posted. So, for example, on Thursday, September 10th, if I clicked on that folder even further, you'll see at the top the Zoom video was posted. So any learner can watch a Zoom recording of a class period. They have task number 1. It's labeled warm up. And so it has their warm up of what they're supposed to be doing. Task number 2 is their study, and it will have any documents or whatever we're doing with the study. And then task number 3 is their create, and it was a text evidence CFA. And when I talk about the Zoom recording, it's always posted by third period. I ask that learners give me some grace in getting those downloaded and posted. So by third period, there will always be a Zoom recording posted for the learners that missed first and second period or throughout the day. There's always going to be one posted. As you can see, I try to keep the tasks in order from where they start to where they should end. And then I also label them regarding reflecting our reading writing workshop model. So we have that same lingo that is being used across the board. So Notability is another very important app for our class. It's going to house all of our notes, our annotated short stories, our assignments, and work to be turned in. We went through a how-to tutorial on how to organize our Notability. So for language arts, ours is organized in a very specific way. You'll see this is a screenshot of a Notability in my organized Notability, but you'll see on the left-hand side, it says ELA Keene 6th grade. Warm-ups, study, create, and share. Again, this is the idea to be as consistent as possible and to align their subjects in Notability for my class with the reading writing workshop model. So again, Notability is aligned with our structure of the class, and it's also aligned with Schoology and how I label everything. So I think that consistency is great for organization, and it's great so the learners don't get messed up on what part they're supposed to be working on in the day or where their documents should go. The next thing I want to touch on quickly is Membean. We use Membean weekly in our class to enhance vocabulary. All learners should be in the program now and working. They will spend 10 minutes on Mondays doing it. As of now, there is no outside time required. However, learners can always train more if they want. We'll be using those vocabulary words in our writing and speech. So it's important that learners are keeping track of that. They have a vocab sheet that they're adding to each week for new words that they learn. So you'll hear more about Membean. We'll do writing assignments in there and quizzes. So it's a really great program just to enhance vocabulary and to learn some new words. So as we spend so much time talking about reading, I want to touch on writing as well. So how do we cultivate a love of writing while ensuring students can write proficiently? So we increase the volume. That's always my goal, is to increase the volume of writing. Some of it's graded, some of it's not graded. I always want to seek opportunities for authentic writing prompts and moments in our curriculum. So we will do paragraph responses, free write, we'll write to inform, we'll write to communicate, poetry, we write. So we do a whole gamut of writing in sixth grade. And I definitely want to give the learners the ability to have some freedom with their writing, which is what we kind of do during warm-ups on Tuesdays, where they can write about anything they want. And then when we go to more structured essays, obviously we go through a writing process that is taught and then modeled to them, so learners can become proficient in those specific types of writing process and those types of essays. So always want to give an opportunity for writing during the day. Each class, they have an opportunity to write. So that is very important. Our required classroom supplies. So earbuds, these are especially important for our friends that are back in school with us throughout the year. Earbuds are going to be great for them to be successful in class. There are going to be many times where they're watching something and they need to listen. And it's very distracting when kids don't have earbuds and you're hearing the same thing being repeated over and over and over again. So earbuds are great. We need them for Membing, iStation, and then other instructional resources. I always suggest to have like a cheaper pair in your backpack and they stay in your backpack. But of course, any earbud is accepted to be used. Their SSR book would be their independent choice book. I ask that they bring that every day. We have lots of opportunity for independent reading. So, learners can grab a book off my shelf, and then after that, it does have to go through like a quarantine process. Hopefully, throughout the year, the library will have more opportunities to use the library. They can also read digitally, or they can bring a book from home. And then we have 2 whole class novels. I've been communicating this home, so it's probably nothing new. The Honest Truth We Need by September 25th. You can purchase those at any book retailer, or Amazon, I think, is one of the best ways to get it. We ask that every single learner have a copy of the book, specifically a physical copy, paperback or hardback, because we will write in it. I know that if you have had other children that have come through and they read this book, you might have a copy at home, but we write in it so much that it can be quite confusing for our learners to see that. But I have extra copies if needed. Digital copies are acceptable as long as learners can annotate and write inside of the digital copy. So it's just kind of something to think about when you're wondering, what should I do? Should I borrow? Should I check out? Should I get digital or physical copy? I always recommend a physical copy. I think it makes it easier on the learner. The other book that we're going to read is Lions of Little Rock, and we read that after winter break. And then the third book is for literature circles, and I will release those titles once we get closer. So there's 3 books we'll read: Honest Truth, Lions of Little Rock, and then a choice book in the spring. After spring break usually is when we start that. Tutoring. And here, any learner can attend 6th grade LA tutoring session. All tutoring is going to occur after school from 3:40 to 4:10 via Zoom, and we call that the tutoring hub. So any day a learner needs help, they can log in to that Zoom and they can get tutoring from a language arts teacher. So contacting your learner, the biggest thing that I think is going to be important for learners to be successful in 6th grade is for them to read their emails. I send out emails for missing work, for reminders, etc. Most of the time I send it to parents as well. However, there are some times that I just send it to the learners. So communicating with your learner, that email is so important and would be extremely helpful. I have communicated that, but that support would be great. And then if I don't get a response from your learner on email, I will reach out via Schoology messages. I can kind of instant message in Schoology, and that's really really awesome. So just please make sure your learner can access their email. This is essential for their success this year in my class, especially if they're virtual. And then if you need help on how do I get my learners signed into their email, please just let me know and I can provide you a video tutorial for that. So best way for everybody to contact me, learner or parent, is through email. Learners obviously can message me through Schoology. I ask that everyone respect the time of 24 to 48 hours for a response. When I leave school at 4:10, I leave school, which means my computer stays here and I will not respond back to email until when I return the next day at 7:30. So please just respect that and those boundaries, and I ask the students to respect that as well. I will not get back to you right away. So, especially on the weekends too. And then my other request for parents is if your learner has a need, please have them email me first. So if they're not understanding a concept, if they're confused about work that in class, I want them to email me and practice that skill of communication through email. And they have been great so far. They have been really great about requesting things or asking for something that they need. But if your learner needs something, please coach them through that process of sending an email to an educator. Throughout the year, we're going to embed some email etiquette skills into our class. So that can be there, but we just ask that they communicate us. And then also just one thing to touch on is that whole 24 to 48 hour rule, sending multiple emails back to back to back, either for learners or parents. Again, please just respect that. And I promise I will get back to you. I tell learners, like, sending me 5 emails about the same thing over and over throughout a day, it's just not going to, give you the immediate response that you might want, but I will get to you as soon as I can. Let's see. Okay, that's it. That's the end. So anyway, I just wanted to just say thank you so much for just some positive feedback from parents. I feel like it's going to be a great year amongst all of this stuff that's going on. And I just appreciate all of you just reaching out and your support this year. I am here to try to make the best year possible for your educator. And if you need anything from me, please reach out and I will get back to you. I hope you all have a wonderful evening and a great school year, and I will talk to you soon.